You boys be quiet down there!
Hey, this is Mr. Jakes from Basement Brothers. I was at the Tokyo Game Show this year, and as usual, one of my primary reasons for attending was to see the Falcom JDK band perform, as well as any other Falcom-related excitement going on at the show. So I thought I'd make a short video to share with my fellow Falcom fans on YouTube. If you're interested in seeing what they had at TGS besides Falcom, I also recently uploaded another video which covers everything else I saw here, so check that out too if you're interested. So let's get right to it. The only game Falcom was promoting this year was Trails of Cold Steel 3 for PS4, which was less than a week away from its Japan release at the time. There were staff giving out free Trails of Cold Steel 3 Uchiwa fans to everyone as they got off at Kaihin Makuhari Station near the event. It was a pretty hot day outside, so everyone at the show seemed to have one of these fans. Sadly, I also saw a very large number of them in the waste baskets later. Inside the game show, they had kiosks set up for people to try out the game, and if you did, you got to take home this Arisa keychain. I wouldn't have minded playing the demo, but as always with the new Trails games at TGS, there was a 2-hour-long line and most of the day they weren't even allowing new people to join the queue. Frankly, I think part of the problem was that they only had enough kiosks for 6 people to play at once, and the amount of time allotted for one set of 6 people to play was too long. So anyway, I didn't bother playing the game, and I reasoned to myself that I was going to get my own pre-reserved copy of the game in the mail in only a few days anyway. The main event was the live performance by the JDK band. They borrowed Konami's stage for a 30-minute performance on both the public days of the show. I wasn't very near the stage this year, and the footage I got of the show is pretty poor video and audio quality, so I'll try not to torture your ears with the actual sound for very long. I'll put a link in the description to where you can watch the entire performance in full quality as it was live streamed by Konami during the event. It was kind of interesting that they chose not to do any instrumental tracks this year. The set list consisted of Aoki Negai, which is the opening for Ao no Kiseki Evolution. Ashita Eno Kodo, which is the opening for Trails of Cold Steel. Senko no Yukue, the opening for Trails of Cold Steel 2. I'll Remember You, the ending for Trails of Cold Steel 2. And finally, Ikitsukusaki, the opening for the new game, Trails of Cold Steel 3. It's been 2 years now since the band changed almost all of their musicians, and I'm still getting used to it. On the positive side, the band seems to have gotten a lot better since their performance at last year's TGS. Megumi Sasaka's vocals were especially bad then, and I can honestly say she has improved a lot. It's still weird hearing her perform the songs which were originally written to be performed by Kanako Kotera. They sound like covers without the original voice. On a side note, Megumi is still pretty bad at talking on stage. Her thoughts aren't very organized and she has a hard time getting to the point. The really weird thing about this performance was that the only remaining member from the previous lineup, violinist Mizuki Mizutani, wasn't able to be present due to a performance with one of the other former JDK band members in another band. In order to fill in the violin part, they got a tenor sax player. It worked, but it sounded pretty weird. I've come to know Mizuki's violin as an integral part of the modern Falcom sound. With another instrument, it just doesn't sound Falcom-y enough. They introduced the sax player as a new member of the band, but it isn't clear how permanent her position in the band is. From what we know presently, she was just filling in during Mizuki's absence. If I were to speculate, I think they're planning to keep her as a backup just in case there are any more future performances where Mizuki can't attend. After the performance, we were allowed to get up close and personal with Mishi, and soon after the JDK band joined in too. It's very cool that every time I come to TGS I get to see people who actually performed on Falcom's game soundtracks at such a close distance. And these Trails of Cold Steel cosplayers were amazing. They fit right in having their picture taken with the JDK band. What a great shot! On another side note, it was announced after the band's performance that Trails of Cold Steel 3 was one of the games which took home the Japan Game Awards Future Division Award this year. Frankly, I wasn't surprised, since all of the recent Trails games have also won this award in previous years at the show. Well, it's time to say goodbye to the band. Until next time. That's it for this video. As of the time of this uploading, my copy of Trails of Cold Steel 3 has already arrived directly from Falcom, the day before the release date. I plan to do a short video on it very soon, so please like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to check it out. See you then.